it over to Darby and Crystal, have them introduce themselves, and jump into the Egg in the Classroom essay contest.
Well, good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us. My name is Crystal Johnson, and thank you for the nice introduction, Wendy. We are going to be talking about the Egg in the Classroom essay contest. And for those of you who don't know, there's a really great website that is available, and you can get all these resources we're going to be talking about on there. And so I just want to start by explaining what the essay contest is. The essay contest is available for all 4th and 5th graders in Wisconsin. It doesn't matter if they're homeschooled, public school, if they're doing it through a Boy Scout, Girl Scout group, 4-H group. It doesn't matter who's moderating it. So it's open to anybody, 4th and 5th grade. And each year they choose a topic, and this year's topic is inventions that have made agriculture great. And they will write an essay, a 100 to 300 word essay on that topic. There are rules available on the website, and I'll show you that in a few minutes. But the Wisconsin Farm Bureau also picks a book that I would say supports, is maybe a good way to put it. It supports the essay contest. And this year it's John Deere, That's Who. And this is the book. And it is written by Tracy Nelson Maurer, that's M-A-U-R-E-R, and she's actually a Wisconsin author, so that's kind of a neat tie-in as well. And people like to have local authors, and so that's neat. But the book is very well illustrated, and it goes through the history of John Deere in a very simplified yet kid-friendly way, and does have some additional history in the back of the book for those who want to know more, or for adults who maybe want to know more about him. But it's nice that the book supports the topic. Again, inventions that have made agriculture great. And if you don't know John Deere's story, you will learn that it does support that. The purpose of the contest, I feel, is that we're trying to get 4th and 5th graders. Of course, in Wisconsin, 4th graders have part of their curriculum as being Wisconsin agriculture, or it's supposed to be. And a lot of times, depending on the background of the teacher, it seems like sometimes it's a very shortened unit, and then they just move on. And some of that is just probably, I have a background in teaching, so I can say this from experience. You probably don't know, that's not a strong area. So you just kind of hurry through it and move on. And so we want to make those kids and teachers comfortable with this information. So we're trying to give them information that will help them. So I think that kind of answers my part.
Okay. So I am going to cover, once you get the essays, we're going to kind of jump over some of it and talk about what you do when you receive those essays. The essays will be due postmarked to you by April 2nd if you are the essay coordinator for your county. And then you need to figure out a way to judge those essays. And counties get anywhere from 1 essay to a couple hundred essays. So depending on how many you get, that kind of determines what method you use for judging those. In our county, we usually get anywhere between 50 and 100 essays. So what we do is we just get a team of people together, probably 4 or 5, and we sit down, take an hour, hour and a half, and go through those essays. And what works for us is we each kind of take a stack of essays, read through them, pick out our top ones, kind of put those in a pile in the middle, and then after we've all kind of picked our top ones, then we all read the ones that are in the middle, and then we start kind of weeding those out until we get down to our county winner. I know some other counties actually have like a judging rubric that they use, and you can do whatever works for your county. Once you've chosen your county winner, then you need to send that essay on to your district promotion and education chair, and they will collect all of the county winners from your district and do another another judging process to choose your district winner. And your P&E chair will send the district winner on to the state, and then all of the district winners are sent to the state Promotion and Education Committee members, and we all judge those. As far as what you do after you've gotten your county winner, we usually do a prize for our county winner, and those prizes can be whatever your county wants it to be. In Jackson County, we do a cash prize. We give them $20, and then we try and come up with something that's related to what the essay topic was. One year it was maple syrup, so we included some maple syrup in that little goodie bag. Last year it was cranberries, so we did some yogurt covered cranberries, and I think there was like some juice, like cranberry juice in a can. We put some of that in there, and a few other little trinkets for the winner.
For Trempealeau County, we also recognize the winner, and I usually try to get into the school while it's still in session sometime in May, and recognize the winner and give them a certificate. We also give them a plaque or a trophy, and we do a little party for their classroom. Usually it's ice cream snacks, but I always try to notify the teacher and talk with the teacher in case there's allergies or any sort of issues like that in the classroom. And then we go into the classroom and make a big deal and really, reward the students. But then we also try to, the last couple of years we've been thanking the teacher, and so giving them a personal gift, something that not necessarily that they're going to use in their classroom, but you mentioned like honey. We did honey one year, several different things made out of honey that we got locally, or something that goes with the theme of the topic. We try to recognize the teacher.
One thing I forgot to mention in that is that on the state Egg in the Classroom website, there are press releases and certificates on there that you can edit with the winner's name, and the press release is all ready for you. All you have to do is fill in a few blanks, so that's really convenient to use, and then you can send that out to your local newspapers too, so that student gets extra recognition. And I know that some counties invite their essay winner to their county annual meeting and have them read the essay at their county annual meeting as well.
So the next thing that we wanted to talk about was how to reach these students and teachers, because that is obviously a really important part of the essay contest. And we just kind of tried to brainstorm what we do, and we use our county newsletter to notify people, teachers and students, and then parents too. We do have some that just come in, like one individual saw it in the newsletter and will send their essay in. Sometimes we'll get a whole classroom if a teacher has it. If we're working with a teacher, we'll usually have a whole classroom of essays. But we also use our Facebook page. We have a county Facebook page, and we use that. And contacting the teachers directly, and we'll probably say this again in the next 20 minutes, but if you know a teacher or a school administrator or anybody that works in the school that can get you in, having that personal contact is really beneficial, and really probably the most beneficial way to get into the classrooms. And so contact those teachers. Our county gives away a copy of the book to all of the elementary schools, this book. Each in January, I go around and deliver a copy, and have included a letter to the 4th and 5th grade teachers. It's donated to the elementary library, the book is, but I try to contact them. And I would say my success rate from that is fairly low, because I'm not making that personal connection with the teacher, and I don't really know if that letter gets past the school secretary. So sometimes they file 9 it or circle file it. And at one place, I had actually been doing this for a couple of years, and the secretary said, well, do you have the superintendent's approval to do this? And I said, no. I had no idea that I had to have approval to do that. And so I think making sure that and we have 13 schools in our 13 elementary schools in our county. And so it gets to be a lot of, dealing with that. So getting contact with those teachers. For me, I knew this girl through my sister-in-law. And so that got me into the 4th grade at one of the elementary schools. Or somebody else on your board might have a relative or a friend. So making those connections however you can. And then we also talked about if you have a public event, especially I would say in the January to April, like Darby mentioned, April 2nd is the deadline this year. So if you know an event that's going on, whether it's like a wellness activity, you know, sometimes schools will host those in the gym, or obviously dairy breakfasts don't fall in that time. But if you have an event like that where you can go have a booth and let kids know, on the website, we'll show you here in a minute, there are some bookmarks as well as postcard size informational things to let the kids know about the essay contest. So getting those into their hands or the parent's hand or the teacher's hands is really important.
And now we are going to cover some of the resources that are on the Egg in the Classroom website. If you don't know, it's wisteggclassroom.org.
Do you want me to share the screen?
Yes, if you could share the screen, that would be great. Crystal is my techie friend, and she's going to show you kind of what we're talking about here. So if you go to the Egg in the Classroom website and click on the Teachers tab, then you go to Essay Contest.
It's down there. It won't let me click on it. You come here.
Okay, it's not working.
Go ahead.
Okay.
I'm there. I'm here.
Okay. So then when you get to the Essay Contest page, there's all kinds of things on there. Some of the things Crystal talked about, I can't see it on my phone here. But she talks about the bookmarks and the postcards, things like that, that you can print out on your own, like cardstock or whatever. And then the information sheet is on there. And when I go into classrooms, I print out an information sheet. It's actually 2 pages, so I do it front and back. And I print those out for every student in the class so that they all get a copy of the rules and the topic. Good. Okay. And then there's also a sheet on there that's a full sheet of the student entries. And that is really nice to give to the teachers because it has 4 copies of the information that has to go on the back of the essay on one sheet, and then they can just make copies of that rather than using the student, I guess, information sheet that you give to the student. Then they don't have to cut that up. But it's just convenient for the teacher to have if you can give them that when you go in there. And then there are contest promotion ideas. And contest promotion ideas are really good. Darlene, I think it's Darlene that put these together. You should probably read through those because there are a lot of good ideas on there about ways that you could partner with your John Deere dealership and things like that to help promote the contest. And most importantly is the county report form. And being the district promotion and education chair, it's really important that you get those to your P&E chair so that they can report to the state how many essays came from each county. And it's a really, really simple sheet. All you have to do is write the county, your name, and the number of entries you had. So please make sure that you send that in with your winning entry when you send it in to your district chair. And make a copy of your winning essay because you will not get the original back. Send the original to the P&E chair, but make a copy for your own reference too. And then another tab on that site is the volunteers tab. And the volunteers tab just has a whole list of things that are going to help you. Everything from tips if you're going to do a farm tour to samples of letters you can send to teachers. What else is on there? Funding, some ideas for funding, and ways to recruit volunteers to help you so that you aren't doing this all on your own in your county. Crystal.
Okay, I'm going to bounce back here then. So the next thing we wanted to talk about was some of the hurdles that we have encountered with the essay contest. I can say from my experience 4 or 5 years ago, I had the previous essay egg in the classroom person in our county kind of handed me over the stuff with not much information to go with it. And so I felt like I was starting from scratch, which was a little bit refreshing because I felt like then I could understand. I'd never been a part of the essay contest or egg in the classroom. And so I kind of got to see how it all came together. But I would say the biggest hurdle, and we've already talked about it, is making the connections with those teachers. And so you've got to figure out a way that you are going to contact them. Or if you, like I said before, if you know an administrator or even a custodian at the school, and I know that sounds silly, but they are going to know the teachers. And so that can be an in, or the secretary at the school, somebody to help you. One thing that I have found, and again, being a former educator and knowing how some schools are sticklers about standards, all of in this resource, the educator's guide that comes when you order, I should back up. You can order these books through Darlene and through the Wisconsin Farm Bureau Federation, and they come with an educator's guide. And this is several pages, I don't even know, 20 some pages of information that you will get a copy of this for each book that you buy. And then for us, because we donate the book to the elementary schools, they have something, a resource. And all of the educator materials and lesson plans, I flipped through it this morning, you guys, and the lesson plans in here are awesome. I've got a little guy in 3rd grade, and there's a lesson here about pulleys and I can't even remember, pulleys and all the different things, machine type stuff, and he will be so excited to do that. But all of that being said, the cool thing about it is it has the standards that are tied to it, which is really important as a teacher. A lot of teachers have to report what standards they are meeting with the lesson, and this is something very easy. So when you are contacting the teacher, I think it's important that you mention that you do have, all the lessons have standards that they tie to, and they're provided for us. You don't have to go digging for them. So thank you, Darlene, or whoever's responsible for gathering all that. That's huge. Another thing, and not really a hurdle, but being able to donate a book to a school, they are $15. And if that's something that your county can afford, it might be worth it. Or maybe you just want to buy one, and that can be part of your prize to the students or the teacher when they win it. That $15 is through the state, I should add. And then do you want to talk about the reading a book?
Sure.
Okay.
So I think it is really important to give the book to the school, because you have to expect the kids to write an essay on the topic if they have no background. And when they choose the essay topic, they always do a really good job of tying it to the book and having the book give the kids a really good background. And so what I like to do is I like to make that connection with the teacher so that you can go into the classroom, read the book to the student, and then do one of the activities that was in the educator's guide that Crystal just showed you. And the activities in the guide have always been really good. You know, from when we were doing honey and pollination, using Cheetos for pollination, that kind of stuff. The activities have always tied in really well. So flip through that guide and figure out what you want to do. Contact the teacher and ask them if you can come in and do that activity, and then talk about the essay contest a little bit. And then tell the kids what the prize is. You know, if the classroom gets an ice cream candy, or that the winner gets cash, you know, those are all really good incentives to get the kids to participate.
Wait, can I show one thing?
Yeah.
I'm going to share my screen again. I wanted to show you guys where that educator's guide was, because I do think it is really important to have that. And if you go to, I have to move my screen here, but if you go to the teachers tab, and now it's not going to see sometimes, I don't know if it's my computer or what this is. If you go to the teachers tab and click on children's book.
Yeah, click on teachers, and then
Can't do it.
click on the teachers. Click on teachers, click on it, and then now try to pull it over and then pull it down.
Pull it over?
Yeah. Oh, but go over to the far left side. There you go. Oh, I thought maybe you could do it.
It doesn't? I don't know.
Can
Sometimes.
Yeah. It's
Oh, there we go. Okay. Children's books. Here's a lesson. And then, is it here? Is it under the book of the year, Wendy?
Yep, so go back. I think you clicked on the picture. So if you go back, if you scroll, it's in the middle. Under How'd That Get in My Lunchbox? Scroll down.
Oh yeah,
right
it's alphabetized. I missed it. Okay, so there we go. These are all the lessons. Remember I mentioned the standards? Those are right here. Okay, I just had to show you guys that because I think that's an important.
Yeah, knowing where to find things is very important.
Yep.
And then some of the and for me, getting into a school at a wedding, and this is not my home school district, so I don't know any of the teachers, but it is part of my home district. And one of his former teachers,
Just a second, Darby. If you are on the phone, if you could mute your phone, that would be appreciated. Thank you.
Did that work?
Nope.
And I was introduced to a teacher who was a fourth grade teacher. So I kind of made that connection there. And then the next year, my sister-in-law happened to get a job in the so that really is what got me into the district here. And because I had that connection, I went in, I did the activity with the kids, read the book, talked about the essay contest, and then she was kind enough to make it an assignment for her class. So if you didn't get the teacher to make it an assignment for the class, you're going to have really good participation numbers. And once she had all of her kids do it, then the other fourth grade teachers in that district joined in because it was a really good writing activity for them to work on. So I try and go in about February so that they can get started on those essays and get them in by the April 2nd deadline. And so after she made it an assignment, then she also let them use their computer lab time to type up those essays. And she didn't do the traditional, the editing and that kind of the process that they go through when they do write stuff, because these essays are supposed to be written by the student. What they do is they just give a participation grade on it and don't grade the essay itself, just so that it stays as original as possible. Crystal, what have you done?
What we've done is I guess, again, personal connections. For me, I have 2 kids in the school district now, and so as my oldest child has gone through the school, I've just hit that teacher up pretty much from orientation day and let them know that I'm an Egg in the Classroom coordinator, and he'll be in 4th grade next year. But I let them know that I'm willing to come in, and that creates a buzz within the school because I usually am able to get, I was able to get all of the kindergarten together when he was in kindergarten and do a lesson, all 1st grade, all of 2nd grade. And so that's been really helpful because now that even though he's beyond those grades, those teachers are still wanting me to come back in. So even though it's not essay related, when he gets to 4th grade next year, you can guarantee I'm going to be hitting those teachers up. So same thing, the personal connection. My sister-in-law works in the school district, and so I was able to get her friend, who's the 4th grade teacher and who teaches all of the social studies for the whole 4th grade, all 3 classes. She did it as a classroom assignment too. For me, it's the follow-up. So she did it a couple years, and then I wasn't as persistent one year, and it kind of fell off. Because it's not part of her curriculum, and so it's really important, I think, to keep following up with teachers. And I love that you can be as creative as you want, because a lot of us have creative juices, we just don't know how to use them, and so you can use some creativity here with getting a hold of teachers. So, yeah.
Okay.
Super. And just one thing, Livia added, if you look in the chat section, just a reminder that a lot of school districts have a spring break. So don't wait too long because you might miss the opportunity if your school is going to be on spring break. We have about 8 minutes left. in our actual time. So if you have any questions, or does anyone have any questions, just remember to unmute your microphone so we can hear them. Bueller. All right, Crystal and Darby, anything else you want to add?
I don't think so.
I think we're good.
Thank you for listening to us.
All right, excellent. I think that they really hit the nail on the head when they talked about really building those relationships and getting into schools that way. And Crystal mentioned secretaries and custodians, any way that you can make it into a school. Definitely look at all of those avenues. Like I said, this Lunch and Learn is recorded, so we'll be posting it on our social media channels very, very soon. In addition, I wanted to let you know that we've completed the Lunch and Learn calendar for the entire year, so we'll be sharing that soon. But next month, as always, on the first Wednesday of the month, we're going to be learning about our new local affairs program. And later in the year, we'll be hearing from Discovery Farms, the DATCAP Farm Center, Agribility, the Leadership Institute, and a whole lot of things related to policy and elections. So check our social media channels, your County Farm Bureau newsletters, and we will be sending that information out. With that, thank you for joining us. And if you have any questions, definitely feel free to send them my way. We can share Darby and Crystal's contact information with all of you as well, in case you want to get in touch with them after today's Lunch and Learn. So have a great week, and I hope to see you all soon.